What's up? Okay, good morning, everybody. Um, what are you seeing on your slide? Are you seeing the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just checking to make sure we got the right thing on the right screen here. So appreciate everybody coming today. Welcome to our safety meeting for November. Um, we've got some important things on tap for us, and we're excited to get to that today. We've got to get to some just a description right here on this slide on how this is going to work today as usual. So this meeting will be recorded on Zoom. Give me a day or two and we'll put it on the transportation employee web page where those who are not able to view this and come in person can go and watch that and take a short quiz and get credit for attending. Um, right here, we're going to get into some celebrations. We're going to talk about our WOW winners, do a little business, and then we'll get into some training with Amy, watch a video about child restraints with Cindy. Wayne's prepared some information on our warning dash lights on the bus that we've been hearing a lot and seeing a lot of, and just kind of go through some of those things. And then I have a little behavior management stuff at the end. So we're excited to be here and thanks again for coming. So as far as celebrations go, just wanted to give a shout out to our mechanics and those and all the drivers for their good work in doing thorough pre-trips and bus inspections for your safety of your bus and your kids. That I think translates into better safety that the mechanics understand and know about, and then their records and the path of them fixing and repairing those needs as we go is more beneficial and efficient, and that translates into the UHP looking at our records and seeing that we're doing a good job. So thanks to everybody that way, and especially mechanics for doing such a good job keeping our buses on the road and keeping them safe. And then we had a really good turnout for our last CDL training. Um, we had eight, maybe nine people participate in that one, and we're looking forward to getting them on the road and helping us sub and do all the things that we need them to do. So, thanks for talking up the need for sub drivers. For our wild card winners, we have in Altamont. The winner was Jessie. She's been riding along and subbing in sped. Um, she has also been named the sped driver for two Altamont boys that come down to Union. So we appreciate Jesse. In Duchesne, the giver is Jackie. The winner is James. She said, James, your bus looks nice and clean. Thank you very much. So thanks, James, for keeping your bus clean. That means a lot. Roosevelt Bus Garage. Cindy is the giver of both of these that were drawn. Caitlin for helping her on her route, and Ashley for subbing Cindy's route. So thanks for being willing to step in and help. And in Tabiona, the giver of the card was Janet. The winner is Robin. Robin, thanks for helping unload all the supplies out from under the bus and getting them on the shelves. So everybody's doing some good things, and we appreciate you taking time to make a note and submit those as wild cards. So thanks for building the positive culture. Let's go to the next one. Business items, just as a friendly reminder, just check your email regularly. If you don't hear it on the radio or a text, we've sent it in an email. So just check your email up once every day. I think that would cover things. That way you'll stay informed. Here in a minute, we're going to listen to Mary Kay from the district. She's going to give us some uh, updated information on our personal, sick, and bereavement policies. Real quick, number three there states that we have our night behind the wheel training. That's tonight. Um, Tabiona, Altamont, and Duchesne drivers, they're going to meet at the Duchesne Bus Garage at 5:30. Uh, Buses or vehicles from Tabiona and Altamont will be provided, so you don't have to drive your own vehicle. Uh, B, Roosevelt bus drivers will meet at the Roosevelt Bus Garage at 5. And C, there will not be any makeup for this training. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, always remember that you can check the transportation employee website for other details and information that's available to you as well. So right now, I'm going to change seats with Mary Kay. She's thankfully come and going to spend a little time with us this morning and go over those policies that have been updated. Thanks, Mary Kay.
I'll try not to put you guys to sleep. Does anybody have any quick questions real fast about the new policies?
Well, hello, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so as you guys may or may not know, sick leave has been kind of split up a little bit. We have maternity leave, paternity leave, and bereavement. On sick leave, there are certain things that you can use it for emergency reasons. You can use it for your spouse, your children, your parents, or your parent in-laws. You get 10 days a year. How many hours would depend on what your contracted hours are for. So if you get 4 hours a day as a contractor, you get 40 hours. Anything that you have built up over 90 days, which will take a long time to get to 90 days, you get paid out for anything over 90 days in June. If and when you do retire with the school district and you're eligible to retire with the Utah retirement systems, not just saying you're retiring, you have to be able to meet the Utah retirement rules to retire. You can get paid out for your sick leave if you meet all the requirements for that at half your daily rate. On maternity leave, it is a paid leave for the for the mother. She can have 6 weeks or 8 weeks, depending on what kind of delivery she has. And there is a form that you have to fill out and give it to Mr. Ross, and then Mr. Ross will give it to Philip. You don't have to fill it out beforehand because most of the time we don't know when our child's going to be born. So as soon as you can after the fact, you want to fill that form out and get it to get it to Mr. Ross. Paternity leave is for the fathers, and it is a cost on paternity leave for the fathers to use that. That is up to 5 days within the first 4 weeks. Bereavement is to cover for, of course, a death in the family. Depending on the relationship of the deceased, you can have anywhere from 5 days to 3 days. And all of these do have a form that needs to be completed and sent to Mr. Ross, and then Mr. Ross will give it to Philip. That was quick in a nutshell. Any questions? All this stuff is covered in that little sick leave. It's pretty much spelled out for you guys in there. One thing I do want to cover is 2 things extra I want to cover is jury duty, because that doesn't happen very often, and sometimes I may miss it. But jury duty, you have 2 options. You can keep that small, teeny tiny check that the government gives you for going to jury duty, and then your day that you miss comes out of your personal leave. Or vacation for the ones who get vacation. If you don't have it, if you've used your 2 free days of personally, then of course it's going to be deduction in your wages. If you want to sign that check over to the district, that means by endorsing the back of it, then that day that you missed or days that you missed for jury duty will come out of actual jury duty pay. I only know of 2 companies that do that that I work for, and we are one of them. And then the next one is personal leave. Personal leave is different for everyone because depending on your years of service. So anybody who has less than 15 years, and if you use more than your 2 free days, which means whether it's 8 hours or 16 hours, depending on your contract hours, there will be a deduction in your salary. And then if you've been here 15 years, you can use 3 days. If you've been here 20 years or more, you can use all of them. You can only maximum you can get is up to 5 days. So for a 4-hour person, that would be 20 hours on the time clock or 20 hours banked. Any questions?
Mary Kay, I've got one on bereavement.
Uh-huh.
So if how do I say this? I don't. If
Mother of the employee.
a mother of the employee goes home, they on hospice, they know that they're going to die within the next couple days. Can they use bereavement for that, or is it only after the death?
Only after.
Okay.
So the day she actually passed away, they can use that.
Hold on, I'm reading. We might have to get someone who makes more money than me to make this decision, But, yeah, I would have to check that one with Philip if because it just says here for, granted for funeral and related issues. So I don't have the answer to that one. Sorry, Darren.
Okay, not a
Hey, Mary Kay, can you just call me? I've been trying to call. We just had that happen last week and the payroll's ending last week. So I just kind of got to know what to do on the paper.
It's for a benefited, because these,
yeah.
Yes.
okay. So it's, okay, so you want to know if bereavement is for just funeral related, or could it be a day or two before the death? Is that what you're kind of asking? Okay, I will check with Philip. And
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, because this just says case of a death. It doesn't say anything prior to, so I'll have to check with Philip. And he might say it's a case on case basis, but I'll let you know. Anything else, guys? Okay. My duty's done. I'll give it back to Mr. Ross. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
You're welcome.
I sure appreciate you, all your, yes, you did great. And we just appreciate her willingness to sit down with us. I know that I've watched several of us come in and have questions, and she's always willing to take the time to help us. So yeah, it's great. Great. Does great at her job. I forgot to mention that we do have gift cards for the WOW winners. So I'll be coming around to pass those out. So we appreciate you guys again.
Jackie was wondering if I could go to slideshow mode so that it's full screen.
Keep that in a file somewhere, but if you need papers, let me know.
Okay, awesome. We'll turn it over to Amy.
Hi, guys. I'm just going to give a little bit of a review for the training tonight. And I also want to talk to you about defensive driving. Again, we're just going to review some things. We talked about a lot of defensive driving situations and strategies last year at our in-service, but it kind of will apply to our night driving this evening. Did you find an answer? Just one second. Mary Kay has an answer for us before I continue.
So Darren, it is, or guys, it is a case by case situation on that. And so Philip said just to reach out to him, and he is in his office on the bereavement.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All righty. So we got a new training. I probably should have taken a screenshot of this. A new training curriculum, and it's mainly based on all the things defensive driving wise. And one of the things they talk about is the LLLC techniques that help you drive defensively. So I'm going to talk about those today for just a second, just as a review. So one of the L's would be look ahead, just a reminder to look ahead down the roadway 12 to 15 seconds at any given time. It helps us identify potential hazards, and then we can respond more quickly if we're looking ahead. Look around is the other L, and that's trying to take in the entire scene instead of just what's in front of you. So if you're just glancing around, especially at intersections, keeps our point of focus kind of moving every 2 seconds. It'll help us be more alert. And this will include like a mirror check every 5 to 8 seconds. If you are somebody that's used to doing a mirror check that often and then you don't, it feels really weird. It feels like there's stuff going on that you're not catching. So try to apply these daily. Ahead, look around. We also need to remember to leave room. We want to leave room on all 6 sides of our bus, not just the 4 sides that we usually would think of. So Of course, the sides and the back and front, but think about things above your bus, overhanging things. The trees were kind of heavy there for a little bit when all the leaves were on. They may get heavy again with snow. Um, just think about things that could scrape on the top of our bus. And then we also need to think about the undercarriage. And if we're driving through something that may damage the bottom of our bus or cave a bin, we could get high centered or cave a oil pan. So we want to look ahead, look around, leave room. And then the last letter is the C, which is communicate. And that is just a reminder to let other drivers be aware of what our intentions are. That might mean tapping our brake lights before we're coming to a stop to let them know we're slowing down. We signal in advance. If possible, use eye contact, like at an intersection or when there's going to be maybe there's people in a crosswalk or something. So those are some good reminders. And when we go night driving tonight, try to use the look ahead, look around, leave room, and communicate as we're out there driving defensively. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing tonight. Some people maybe aren't too excited about doing the night driving at night, and there's school tomorrow and we've got to work, but we kind of planned it this way so that we are able to have a longer Christmas break. If we didn't do it tonight, we would be coming back early at the break, and there's just no way to please everybody, but we're going to try to limit our time and try to be done between 8 and 8:30 tonight so that you guys can go home and get rest. And then we only have tomorrow and then we're off for our turkey day. So just a couple of points that maybe we could think about. Number one, just think to yourself, why do I have to practice this skill? Think of ways this might apply to you. We're going to be going over 4 different things this evening. Try to find ways that you can apply this. Number 2 is think about how this can fit in with what I already do. Is there something new that's shown that maybe I can start applying? And then number 3 is covered, so I can't remember what my note was there. Number 4 is the success for this is up to you. If your attitude is not so great, you won't have success with this. Thank you. So learning and refreshing can be fun. Try to find some positive things instead of just dwelling on the fact that we're training and doing a night drive. Number 3 now says, how will I use this when I need it? When we practice the evacuations tonight, or we're driving defensively in the dark, maybe pick up some clues from some other drivers and what they're doing, and that might help you apply the training. Our attitude, number 5, is a huge one. My husband was telling me this morning, he says, attitude is safety. And that is so true. If your attitude stinks, you're really not going to be a safe driver. So if you're so dwelling on the fact that you're having to do something you're maybe not excited about, it can affect the way you drive. And so um, just just think about approaching a real life situation and how our attitude can affect that. And then number 6 would be, what's the best way to learn skills? And that's practicing them. So that's the whole reason we're out doing some of these things. Oh, now I've gone to bed.
Oh, boy.
Down on the screen again. Okay. Okay. Shoo. Okay. So one of the skills we're going to do tonight is backing. And we're just going to review. So we always want to start at the beginning, and that's with the pre-trip. Make sure that the mirrors are clean, the glass is clean in front and where we need to be seeing, and adjust our mirrors. Just a reminder to honk and use our flashers or hazards when we back. Backing slowly helps us make a correction before it's too late. So we don't need to be rushing through this. Just take your time backing. And just a reminder to back only as much as necessary. Sometimes drivers will back and back and back and back until they hit something or they backed way too far. And sometimes you only need to back just a few feet. So just only back as much as necessary. You can use a spotter. We may use a spotter tonight. There's no shame in that. If you can't see or you're not sure, just ask somebody to help you. And the other thing we can do is use the goal method, and that's get out and look. If we're just not sure about something, just get out and take a look. And then learn your personal and bus references. We're going to help you guys with that tonight with a little skill that I just found. So that's what we're going to do with backing. So we will, drivers will be asked to help set up the skill and participate in backing the bus as they're instructed or demonstrated. Another skill we're going to work on, this is a review, is our student stops. Just a review of the things we're looking at is we want to remember to communicate to other drivers what our intentions are with our lights being turned on at the proper time. We need to remember to hold our lane. And so we're going to be thinking about the placement of the bus to keep the kids safe and to keep the bus in the lane so that traffic doesn't come around us or get confused. We're going to always set our park brake and put the bus in neutral. We're going to use our intentional hand signals, which is just a finger point or a firm hand. We're not going to do this. So tonight we're going to practice intentional signaling to the students. We're going to keep the kids on until all traffic has stopped, and then we will let the kids off. Another reminder is we're going to review when we use our reds and when we go curbside. So we're going to practice those things tonight. There seems to be a little bit of confusion. One great rule of thumb is if the kids are crossing in front of your bus, you have to use your reds. So you don't want to pull over to the right side of the curb if you have kids that are going to be crossing in front of your bus and crossing a roadway. It's just not safe. It's not the law. So that's a good rule of thumb. If people are crossing in front, get that stop sign out. And then we also want to make sure after the kids are off the bus that they are well out of the danger zone before we pull away. So that would be 12 feet away from our bus. We're going to make sure they're out of there. And so tonight, our second skill will be demonstrating correct student stops. This shouldn't take us too long, but just really pay attention to how other drivers are doing it and give tips or show the skill so that we can move on to skill number 3, which will be defensive driving commentary. So we're going to use the LLLC. We're going to be looking ahead, looking around, leaving room, and communicating to other drivers our intention. I would really like to encourage drivers to share if they're the driver, to share hazards, problems, or conditions that they recognize verbally, and then drive defensively or explain how they would drive through that situation. And then our last thing we're going to review tonight is a school bus evacuation. So we're going to follow the district instruction we use for our students. So that would include which exit to use, talking to base, letting them know what's happening with your bus. We're going to set up triangles correctly for that roadway. Just a reminder, sending the students to a safe area and count kids and check that they're safe. So drivers will safely evacuate the bus as a group effort and help each other. So again, I'd like the training to be done between 8 and 8:30. So we're going to spend some time on this, but your participation will help things go smoothly and make it a fun time. So let's get out and do some defensive driving. All right. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Amy. That should be fun tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Next up, we have some SPED training or some restraint training for our little ones that Cindy's prepared. Let me get this out of the way here. Get this on the right. Cindy, is that what you want? Do you want a prelude or anything before we start watching?
Yeah, maybe just do that one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Couple of things. The very bottom of this is cut off, but one of the things I do when I preach at my bus is that I make sure that all of those harnesses, those straps are pulled all the way out. That way it gives room in between the legs. And if you'll just let that play for a minute. First of all, I do need to say that I have talked to all of my parents. So you may see their faces, but parents have given me permission to use their children that are on my bus. So you are so welcome. No one.
Bonnie, you in the bus?
I think I'm going. I'll wait, Tony.
When did I?
Tony? You can see as that strap is pulled out, it brings the buckle out from the crotch area, so you're 4 or 5 inches away from that personal space. Send this up. Take that all the way. Good job. Good job. Go ahead, sister. Around. You know what? We have it twisted, so we're gonna undo it. I'm gonna help you. Okay, now try it. Oh, Layla, look at you go. You're Layla, good job. Okay, from the 40, how 3 and 4-year-olds can buckle themselves in. You know, by yourself. Awesome. Can you tell me have yours twisted too? Very well. Okay, do you want to try it again? You think we're on the recording? A little bit closer. Yeah. Good job. Okay, I'm gonna tighten it up. Oh, this has to come down. Okay. A little bit right there. Good job. Oh, she traded places? Yeah, she wanted to run them. Thank you. Thank you. You got shoes? All right, I think Miss Cindy's gonna put you in. Stopped. Well, I don't want my door open, so Mobile emergency is on, so my reds stay out, my door is closed, so my bus is secure, and then I can get up and buckle this one in.
Say that again, Cindy. We missed that.
So I have traffic stopped here because I can't go curbside where this is at. So I've started my ambers and my reds. And then I use my will emergency. So my reds stay on when my door is closed. So now my bus is secure and I can get up and help buckle them in. If we turn the bus off and take the keys, which has been brought up, then we don't have any reds. So we can't do that. But if we use the will emergency, shut the door, then our bus is secure and nobody can get on.
They're in your seat. Good job.
You'll come around.
Yeah, I was gonna stay here.
No walking. No walking. Hey, look, I see no walking. It's no walking. I'm playing no walking.
And you up. Wow. Good job. Hey, all done. High five. Hey.
Simple as that.
So quick question, a clarification,
Yes.
when they get off, loosen it. So
Loosen it all the way and then pull that buckle way out.
because there's those couple of times on that's keeping them to it's like, oh.
If you're trying to get those kids out without those straps being loosened, then you're right in
Yeah,
that personal space.
yeah.
So if you loosen those straps all the way up, it'll pull that buckle down so it's not against their body. Okay.
Good. Any other questions or concerns? Thanks, Cindy. Appreciate that. That helps when you can see it firsthand on a video like that. Thank you. All right, Wayne, you're next with some warning dash lights information.
So this is on our newer buses from 2012 to the brand new ones we have, and I'll print out these and give them to everybody. On these ones, you're gonna see, so you'll get a check engine light if there's an issue. And the only time you really need to worry about that is if there's another message with that or a stop engine. So if you see the one with the little raindrops and looks like a little horn that are on the left-hand side, it's in green. Down right there. So if you get that one, we have a DEF issue. So you'll get the check engine light in red. You'll get the green DEF warning, and then as it progresses along, if it's not being taken care of, eventually you're going to get an engine warning there in the lower left-hand corner. And if all three of them come on, your bus is going to derate. So really, the only time you really need to worry about it is if you have the check engine and some other message. Or if you get a stop engine. If you have a stop engine, then you probably should pull over. You know, they say turn the bus off for 5 minutes or whatever, and then reset it. Up here on the right-hand side, you've got your check trans temperature, and then your coolant level. So now sometimes you'll get like this high exhaust temperature, and it'll say high exhaust temperature, and you'll hear a beep. If it's doing that, it's okay. Like I said, the only time you need to worry is if you get a check engine light, the other one, and an engine warning. So high exhaust temperature is okay. It just means that the bus just got done regenning. You have high temperature. Don't park your bus in the weeds or anywhere where it can hurt somebody, because that exhaust is pretty hot. Yeah, and don't turn the bus off, kick it in high idle, or drive it to let it finish out what it's doing. Down here in the purple, you see the high coolant temperature. If you get something like that, you need to immediately pull over, check your coolant levels. Obviously, oil pressure. You should always be checking your oil. If you've got this and it goes off and then you get an engine warning, you probably ought to pull over and check your oil pressure, or check your oil level, sorry. Let's go to the next one, Mike. And this just that one just kind of explains all the little symbols. Okay, like you see the HEST with the temperature and then the little horn. High exhaust system temperature indicates elevated exhaust temperature. And then it says in the manual, do not park the bus over weeds or anywhere where anybody can get hurt by it, because it is pretty hot coming out of there. So let's go to the next one, Mike. This is for our 2010 and below. You can see you got your wait to start light. Now this one has engine warning and then MIL. If you get like an engine warning, it's probably not that big of a deal, but if you get the MIL, there's another issue. Or if you get a stop engine, you probably ought to pull over and call your mechanic. Let them know what's going on. The one in the center that looks like the little Christmas bulb with the lines in it, that's your low coolant. And then you've got, of course, your check trans, all that other stuff. The one with the circle, and it looks like it's got like a half moon with an arrow. So if you have like a VGT brake or a pack brake, that light will come on, and it's just telling you that your VGT's on. Now, if you look here where it says engine oil, there on the right-hand side, there's a little red light that comes on. It's the gauge right here to the right, Mike. So you've got that one.
Okay.
So if that's at 0 and that light comes on, there's got to be an issue. Pull over, check your engine oil, make sure your engine oil's full. Of course, you got to let it sit for a second once you shut it off to check the oil. Let it drain down into that tank. There on the left-hand side, we've got our battery. If your gauge is reading 0 and that battery light's on, more than likely your bus is just going to shut off. So that's pretty much all the warning lights there, Mike. And I'll print these out and get them to all the drivers. And then here's a little graphic that tells you what each one of those are. I didn't have any for the internationals, so Kyle, if you can maybe look at yours and see. I tried to find some on the internet and I couldn't find them. They were all for semi trucks. So, is there any questions on these warning lights?
So I do have a clarifying question. If it's just to check your engine light, which mine does come on every now and then, just if it's just only to check engine, then
Continue driving.
continue and then just touch base with my mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard that. Renee
Repeat
said,
that. Yeah.
if she has a check engine light and it's just the check engine light, does she keep driving? And the answer is yes. Just go ahead and drive and then touch base with your mechanic when you get back. The only time you'll really need to worry about anything is if you get the stop engine,
Right.
or you get the check engine light with another message, either MIL or engine warning, stuff like that.
Wayne,
Yeah.
if you're out on your route and you're moving along and then something happens that needs addressing by the mechanic, does the driver input that later in video, or is that something now that you guys will record because you're addressing the problem at that point?
Yeah. Usually they'll record that in video. I'll put in there, driver contacted me with an engine problem, whether or not I go out and fix it or just wait for them to get back. But yeah, if you guys have an issue, make sure you call your mechanic. And a lot of times the radio is so busy, it's easier to call, or we're driving. A lot of times I won't be able to get to you, if I'm driving until I get done. So, but we're really good about that. We usually take care of each other, other drivers offer to go pick up kids or whatever. So, but yeah,
Excellent. Okay, any other questions there?
another one too for you new drivers. If you see this one that says range inhibit, push the brake pedal harder. We get that a lot. You know, they're like, well, it keeps saying range inhibit. Well, you need to press your brake pedal a little harder, and then it should pop out of that and you'll be able to put it in gear. So,
Okay, excellent. Okay, I wanted to just to take about 5 to 10 minutes right here and to go over a few slides with you. I think that it's becoming more aware to me how important it is for us as bus drivers, for us as the transportation team to realize how significant our role is in helping students get to school and back home safely, as well as playing a role as an educator in the lives of our students or our passengers. This slide says, everyone an educator, it takes all of us, you make a difference. And I really believe that. And we can make a difference in many ways. First and foremost is to be safe and to make sure our students and passengers are safe. But there are many other ways that we can make a difference with the students on our bus. We have a lot of great examples and a lot of people that are working on this right now. So I just want to go over a few things. It's important as our transportation team grows and changes and expands, and some drivers stop being drivers and they go do something else, and we get a new driver or new drivers that come on, and we want that positive attitude and that enthusiasm that it takes to be effective, be safe, and to make a difference in our students' lives. There's this term that we've been using in the academic circle that's called collective efficacy. And it means that a group's shared belief in their ability to work together to achieve a goal. Um, uh, let's see. I was watching a football game on the weekend, and the one of the linemen got like 3 holding penalties on the same possession, one of the offensive linemen. And it definitely stopped the momentum of the moving the ball. And you could tell that the quarterback and the others were getting frustrated. The biggest frustration was seen by the coach on the sideline. And I just thought, and that happens, people make mistakes. But for some reason it wasn't, I don't, there's a lot of variables in a football game with referees and different things, but if each person's doing their best to follow the rules and to do their job, then as a team and as a group, we can achieve our goals. And that's what collective efficacy means. But even more than that, it's the belief that you can make a difference. So if you get on your bus, this is kind of negative to say, but if you get on your bus, or if I get in my car and I go to a school to deal with a student's behavior, and I don't think that I can help, or I don't think that it's worth my time or my effort to work with this student to try to help them get better, it's probably going to happen that way. I won't be able to help. That student won't get better. And my attitude and my effort won't rise up to that collective efficacy that it takes for us to make a difference. And so I have to catch myself all the time, trying to be positive. And I don't know if you're like me, but um, we can make a difference if we want to, and if we want to reach those goals as a team or as a group. And that's what collective efficacy is. There's also a thing called driver credibility. Let's talk about that here in this big statement. It says collective efficacy refers to a staff's shared belief that through their collective action, they can positively influence student outcomes. There's also a relationship between teacher credibility and collective efficacy. In general, teachers want to be around other teachers they believe are effective. We all like to surround ourselves with people who we can learn from and who are as passionate and dedicated as we are. So not only a collective efficacy within our group, but a credibility to, in this case, it's talking about teachers. And the credibility part, the definition is that the quality or power of inspiring belief. And you might be thinking, how can I, as a driver, have the power to inspire belief? Well, it happens all the time, and you're doing it whether you know it or not. And it can be a positive and it can be a negative. And so let's just change the words here a little bit. Driver credibility means the quality or power of inspiring belief. And then if we put that back into the statement, collective efficacy refers to a staff's shared belief that through their collective action, they can positively influence student outcomes. There's also a relationship between driver credibility and collective efficacy. In general, drivers want to be around other drivers they believe are effective. We all like to surround ourselves with people who we can learn from and who are passionate and dedicated as we are. Tonight's a great opportunity for all of us to be around other drivers that we believe are effective. And sometimes we get on our own bus. Hardly ever do we get to be together as drivers, as a team, working on a goal and have a chance to be around someone else that's really doing a good job and we can learn from them. So I think it's a great opportunity, these types of trainings that we're going to throw tonight at you, that you can be a collective group trying to reach a goal and gain credibility and share your credibility with other drivers. Last slide here. We're doing a lot of the things that would make us highly efficient at collective efficacy. We have creating and maintaining a seating chart. Can you put yourself as a sub? Now you know both roles as a driver because you probably subbed before you became a route driver. It's so much nicer to get on a bus when you're a sub, when there's a seating chart, and kids understand that that's where they sit and there's consistency, and we can see and make sure that kids are present or absent. If there's an accident, we can use the seating chart to help us. There's so many ways that help us be safe and efficient. And that's just one way as a route driver that you're helping the kids and the sub driver, for example, in building that collective efficacy and driver credibility. Next one that shows evidence of practicing these things, helping when asked to combine routes. Our team, I'm so impressed with all of you. If we need some help, if we have someone sick, we can't find a sub, we always have drivers who are willing and ready to help whenever the situation calls. So that's a definite evidence of practicing collective efficacy. Expecting students to follow safety protocols, not just keeping kids safe, but supporting, again, sub drivers. So as a route driver, if you're not asking kids and expecting kids to be safe and follow the rules and understand the expectations, then I can guarantee you when the sub comes when you're sick or you can't be the driver that day, they are not going to be safe on the bus as the sub driver. But if you have those things in place, and it's easy to tell, right? As I sub here and there and other substitutes do that. You get on a bus and a kid gets off the bus and just crosses the street without looking at the bus driver or any of that. That shows that we have not been practicing any of these collective efficacy types of things, and the driver credibility goes way down. So I'm being blunt here, but that is so important, and helps us as a team achieve our safety goals. And then the last one that I just listed there, engaging students, having learning take place on your bus. Wow, that's an interesting concept. And if they're busy doing something on the bus, being engaged, they're probably not going to be walking around. They're probably not going to be swearing at the other kid. There won't be as many fights. All the behaviors that we get to deal with, which will come, even if we do some of these things, those will decrease and our buses will be safer and your life will be much easier. So in a lot of ways, being a collective efficacy driver credibility driver is going to make your job easier and more pleasant and a better experience for everybody. So that's my 2 cents on that. So Thanks, you guys, for putting up with that little pep talk there, but I think that we can do much better. And already we're doing so great, but we have a lot of room to grow. And tonight's just one step to help us become better that way. I think that's my last slide. Are there any questions or concerns?
Gonna have food at the Duchesne
Oh,
one.
yes. It sounds like we're gonna have food at the Duchesne Bus Garage for the Altamont Tavion and Duchesne drivers. So I think it's pizza, something
Yes.
like that. So come ready to eat there. And I think I've also understand that the Roosevelt Bus Garage will have food as well. Is that right, Cindy, Wayne?
Having cooking and the food will be often sitting there.
And then you guys, just a reminder that everybody today that is present in person, make sure you sign a roll sheet so that I can give you credit for attending today. And then tonight, make sure that you sign a roll that will be on your bus. There'll be 4 different buses, and so make sure you sign the one that's on your bus so you get credit for tonight. And I just want to thank the people that have let me know in advance if they were not able to make it, and I thank you for the concern about your continuing ed credits. And we've reviewed that, and the people that are not able to make it wanted to make sure they are still getting those continuing ed credits. And so I appreciate that. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great day, great week. We'll see everybody tonight.